Everybody, it's
Why-
your
oh.
boys. It's your friendly neighborhood chimps. I'm Evan. This is Vince.
Hi.
This is Jack.
Hi.
Jack.
Evan, Jack isn't here.
Jack, speak.
I thought
I'm
Skip
talking
it,
to
bro.
you.
Skip it,
I
bro.
said yeah.
Keep
Fine.
going.
You didn't say
It's
anything.
Jonas.
Bruh. I'm here.
It's baby.
It's
And then
baby.
Jacob.
Baby.
Hello.
We're missing a couple hosts today, but that's alright. You'll meet them eventually. And then we've got our two guests, Travis
What's going on?
and Sam.
What's up, fellas?
Jesus
This is the biggest accomplishment Chimps have made so far.
Let's go. Let's go.
Us together and we're f***ing it out, dude.
We're basically on a label now.
Well, because
Basically.
of the coronavirus and how we can't get together, sadly, we are gonna have to record this online. So you
Also,
will...
the fact that I live in a different state.
Shut up, Sam. You're the guest, bro.
yeah.
Doesn't matter. He's a chimp
So
associate.
you like your
Sam, you're dead. You're dead.
He's at least he's not a chimp necessarily. He's a marsupial.
I do tend to do some
He's a
marsupial
Cro-Magnon. He's a Cro-Magnon.
Okay, that should be our first talking point, boys. What's your favorite marsupial?
What is that? What is a marsupial?
Tell me.
Tell me what. Wait,
For
do you guys
literally
remember-
Hold on, hold on. I'm looking
Hold
at
on,
the definition
shut
of
up.
marsupial. Hold on.
Is that
Okay,
something
wait.
that walks on two legs?
A mammal of an order whose member are born incompletely developed and are typically carried and suckled in a pouch on the mother's belly. Marsupials are found mainly in Australia.
Oh, so a Joey.
Or however you
That's
say it.
kangaroo.
okay.
Literally
my
kangaroos
favorite
and
marsupial.
koalas.
Yeah.
My favorite marsupial
Huh?
is a wombat. That's my favorite.
Lemurs. Lemurs are
Yo,
marsupials.
mine's
Oh,
like
really?
mine's a
Yeah.
seahorse,
King
bro.
Julian, because I love King Julian. He's my favorite show.
Marsupials
King Julian.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Marsupials are pretty swag,
Smack.
Dude,
Alright.
It's
Okay, so before we keep talking and going a spin off, let's probably introduce our guests a little bit more just because they're our guests. Obviously, there's not much to say because we're not popular and don't do stuff, but Sam, do you want to give yourself a little bit more of an introduction and in depth?
Sure, dude. Hello, my name is Sam. I hope to become a chimp associate by the end of this podcast. This is kind of like an interview. Yeah, that's about it. Also, I
Nah.
play the
consider
drum.
this.
Nah, I don't
consider
like
this
him.
the casting couch.
Yeah, this is the casting couch. You're Harley Quinn and we're Travis Scott.
Oh,
Travis.
show the image for context, because nobody's gonna get that.
Yeah. Okay,
Put it in
so
post.
let's introduce
And then in
Travis.
post.
Do you want to do an in-depth introduction?
Oh.
Anything?
yeah. So, yeah, my name's Travis. I'm dyslexic. I'm not sure what I'm going to accomplish on here. I guess I was just kind of thrown in here. So, I'm glad to be. Yeah.
I'm glad to be an American.
Yeah.
He's the
Well,
first ChimpChat
Fantastic.
guest to actually be a guest.
Yeah.
Good old stars and bars. Vote Trump.
Well, the thing is,
Say that, Evan.
That was a joke.
both Travis and Sam used to live where we lived, but they both moved off and moved.
That's
somewhere
dox.
else.
Possibly will be moving back by the end of the
Rest in
summer.
peace.
Yeah,
Peace.
we
Wait,
know.
really?
Dox us, Jacob, bro.
No.
Might as well tell him Jacob's O'Toole's address and send him bombs, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Well,
Were you there? Were you there, Evan?
No.
no.
All right,
You
let's
can't do that.
Send him a
You just
bomb.
doxed
Let's
Jacob
talk-
O.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about my streaming
no.
career real quick.
Let's talk about.
Let's talk
what?
about Sam.
What?
What?
Sam.
Yeah. What's
Okay, we'll talk about the streaming
I didn't
thing.
know I didn't know you when you were younger. How long did you live where the rest of us do?
You can just say the state, Jacob. Nobody's gonna track you
No,
down.
Nah.
whatever. Just stay
Nah.
anonymous.
I used to live for
No!
seven
Friends.
years.
I'm gonna I'll blur it out. I'll bleep it out.
All
I'll
of you.
bleep it out.
All of you.
Monkey. Monkey.
Okay.
Right.
Can you
I
continue?
used to live in the spot where everybody was for about 7 years. We
Yeah.
moved when I was
Guatemala.
yes. We moved when I was 5,
go.
and then we left when I
Lithuania.
was about 13,
Ukraine.
I think. So a little over 7 years, like 8 years.
Yeah.
And-
So
In that time, I had a lot of good experiences. Quite like very few
bad ones.
very few bad ones. No, chilling, dude. It was a fun time with the boys.
Ah,
It's all good. I'll bleep it
it's-
out.
dude.
You
Nobody
bleep it out,
cares.
we're censoring this.
You know how big
I'll just
nobody's gonna find you.
I'll mute him and put like Guam
We're
over
trying to
it.
be anonymous here, buddy. That's
Yeah,
all.
from
We'll
Guam.
cut it out.
Okay,
We are from the United States territory of Guam,
Quite
Exactly. United States of
bless
Guam.
Midway Island.
Midway Island. We're so off topic. This started with
Doesn't matter.
questioning-
There is no topic.
All right. Anyway, the farthest I got in Guam was middle school, and that was not a fun time. I gained
became
about
a
60
gangsta.
pounds. Not a good time. Moved to the Virgin Islands, where I am currently.
And now you're selling black tar heroin.
Yes.
Woo!
But, yeah, no, it's
Alright.
been cool
Big
here.
steps, big steps, big steps.
All right.
But that's about it.
Gonna dox your age, bro.
Now, Travis,
Yeah.
you also
I'm
used to
14.
you
And
do
where?
still live in
And where,
Iowa,
Jacob?
but
Shush.
In
in
Guam?
Guam.
You still live in Guam, but it's far away. So
Yeah,
how
very.
was moving? Like, can you explain what that was like? to you?
Kind of
How that-
sucked.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in a military family. We moved all around and stuff. Now my dad's finally old enough to be like, okay, I'm done. I'm done moving. We're done here. So now we're just near here in Italy, right? That's in Guam.
Yeah.
And
Italy, Guam.
You live in
Guam
like
seemed
18
different.
different countries, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, Italy is Guam.
Hey, are we just using territories as like code names at this point?
I call code name
So, I'm
Africa.
not gonna edit it out. It's just a joke at this point.
Doesn't
Alright.
matter.
So,
That's a funny.
yeah, it's a funny man. So
Yeah.
obviously moving really sucks, especially when you have friends in the area.
I
right.
actually
But-
sucked so bad, dude.
Because
It
Jacob,
was
you're
bad.
you're
It was
moving
really
here.
bad.
5 months of me living here, I knew nobody.
I mean,
Dude,
Jacob, you're kind of doing the same thing. While you're still you're gonna be in Guam, but you're moving to like Eastern Guam.
Moving to
Eastern
Venezuela.
Guam.
Venezuela.
We're literally moving
So-
outside like Guam city limits, so we'll still be able to
Yeah.
hang out.
But Sam,
he'll be
so
leaving in the gulag.
Sam, when I visited you in the Virgin Islands, bro, it was kind of a pogging city where you were.
Yeah.
Like where you, okay, this is
For sure,
stupid.
dude. There's
We
so
can say
much.
we can say the states that we live in.
There's so much stuff to do in
Should we?
Arlington.
I know we're like 10 minutes in, but should we start over and like establish?
No.
I feel like we
No,
need
I
to
like
establish
that.
ourselves better. I'm gonna be
Okay,
honest.
no, but when I visited Washington D.C., it
Yeah.
was very beautiful, and I really did like the I didn't get to experience exactly where you were at though.
Yeah.
I didn't get to experience what it was like there. I wasn't really the tourist part of that area.
Well, like the
but
place
in,
that
but
I
in Washington D.C., it was very beautiful, and it was a very weird experience to visit somewhere where it was so centered around politics. A lot of it was like history and stuff. It was just
Well,
weird.
yeah, for sure. But like where I live, which is like just the suburbs outside of the outside of DC, they
Mhm.
call it the metropolitan area, basically. It's a very white, secluded, very peaceful, tranquil. Dude, I swear to God, I know like 2 black people at my school. It's not even. I'm not even exaggerating.
Same.
dude.
Yeah, but
Dude,
you're
my school's
so
full
white.
of rich, racist
so
white
white.
kids, dude.
Dude.
Jeez.
Oh,
well, I mean,
So
That's
bad.
wrong for you.
Sam, you
But
have a
yeah,
whole
no,
bunch of
y-
stories from Washington, like from the you go to you
Oh, dude, my school was a
Washington
crack
D.C.
school.
Yeah, yeah, but like, what's like the weirdest thing that's ever happened actually in your school?
Weirdest thing that's happened in my school. Let me think about that.
Well, then we should move to different topics or not
Yeah.
just sit here in silence.
Yeah,
No,
I
hold
got
on.
one. I got
Ask Travis some questions. I gotta
So-
think about
Okay,
this.
I
Here.
got one. So obviously, moving is very bad most of the time, and there are a lot of emotions behind it. What are some good things about moving? Like, what is the good in it? Have you found any good?
Yeah, a bigger house.
Not every time.
Not as
Not every
paper
time.
thin walls.
Very cool. Very
No.
cool.
Yeah, that's true.
Odd.
I guess I'm a solid 2 inches further away from my parents' bedroom than from the last house. So
Always a
much
perk.
difference there. Yeah. So
I don't know about Travis, but for me, in terms of like, I felt like I became a lot more self-sufficient or like outgoing in general. Like just more social as well, because like it's hard starting over. It's hard to make new friends, especially when when I moved to Guam, I was
Bro,
how-
nobody cares.
all right,
Nobody
when
cares.
I moved
Guam.
when I moved to
I
Iowa,
think
No,
we should
no.
just keep referring to it as Guam for the bit.
Yeah.
I agree.
when I moved to Guam from
No,
California.
I,
All right,
no,
whatever.
you're pronouncing Guam wrong. It's Chief.
No, stop. For real. Let's just use Guam. I like the code name.
All right,
Let's
all
not
right, all
let's
right.
not
Okay,
dox
we're
ourselves
getting
here.
off
Either way, when I
No,
moved,
no,
when I
It's
moved
not like
from
we're saying,
California,
oh,
hold on,
let me do
Vince,
those zip
shut up and
codes.
let me talk, please, for the love of God.
Too many
Alright,
voices.
When I moved from California to where these boys are situated, I was like 5, right? So we were just starting kindergarten. Everyone was new to each other, because a lot of the preschools didn't overlap there because like the preschools are out in the middle of nowhere for whatever reason.
What?
But anyway, yeah, I walked in class first day, instantly made friends. It's just kind of easy like that, especially when you're in kindergarten. But then, we move here. I'm starting 8th grade. I know absolutely no one. It's a lot more difficult than when you're 5 and your mom can set up play dates with the neighborhood kids, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I've had a lot more social interaction than I ever did in Iowa here. Just like going to more parties, being more social, joining the marching band. It was a bop. It was a fun time.
I was
So-
going to say, like, I didn't know you that well before you left, but like, just talking to you like now and in general here and there, you just seem a lot more like outgoing and social. So I
Yeah,
can see
for
that.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, cause I only
well as,
knew,
like,
I only knew
I-
you for a year, Sam,
Yeah.
and you have become literally one of my most best friends, even though I only knew you for was it even a full year?
I don't think so. It was like 7th grade. That's
Yeah.
that's like half a year.
Yeah.
And like
Me
same
and
with
Jonas
Jacob.
could not relate.
I have not seen Jacob
Really?
ever
Well,
Yeah,
outside of Discord.
never met. You
And-
you did not want to see me though when you were. I was not in the mental state. We could,
But
He's
yeah,
a very
We have to
angsty
talk.
boy.
We actually okay. No,
Nah,
never mind. Never mind.
I don't want to.
No,
don't know.
but like, I remember it was so weird because I don't remember meeting you, Sam. I don't remember meeting Jonas either. But it was like
Yeah.
we
Oh, yeah.
went to the same elementary school, and so
It was
it
a
was
bop.
it was.
yeah, that's weird. What the hell? How did we meet?
the same with like.
We were
as well
probably
as-
like, "Ayo,
I
you like
met,
cars?"
hold on.
And you
No,
guys were
no.
like,
I
"Yeah,
met
Chief."
Jonas. Here, you want me to tell the story of how I met Jonas?
Oh, I know. I remember how I met you, Sam.
we
Yeah.
used
I
to
don't know
play.
this one.
We used to play Magic the Gathering, right?
Oh, is that how? Oh,
Yep. We used to play
Yes.
Magic the Gathering at lunch. Okay.
that's right.
And so I was like, I saw these kids play, and I was like, huh, that's a cool game. Then I went to their local, like, what do you call that? Hobby shop,
And
Hobby
bought a
corner.
Card store.
and
Yeah,
and
that's
bought a
cool.
gun. No,
yeah. Yes,
And I
sir.
brought it to school.
Mass
Bought a
genocide.
gun shop.
I
in the
bought a
next-
gat and then murdered those fools. But no,
I got those
I bought-
motherfuckers.
I bought one of the starter sets, right, for like $20. I had no idea how to play. I walk up to these guys, super nice guys. I ask them, hey, can I play? And they were like, sure. Do you know how to play? And I'm like, no. And then they're like, okay, we'll teach you. And then that's how
Oh,
I
how do you
met
remember
Jonas.
that? I'm sure I was a part of that because I
It was
played Magic
5th
too.
grade, dude. It was 5th grade.
I hate
It's
magic.
not that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago. And yeah,
Oh.
no,
Isn't
that was a
that
fun time.
crazy?
I forgot
That was
how I met
4
Vince.
years ago.
I forgot how I met Vince though. I think
No, we met in like third. We met in like second grade.
we met 2nd grade. I don't remember how I met you, but I vaguely remember going to your house in 2nd grade
yeah, one
and
of the
playing
two.
Mario Kart because I had just gotten my 3DS because I had gotten my tonsils taken
Bro,
out.
It was so.
Yeah.
Aw, dude, bro, what a vibe, dude. What I
Bruh.
miss
Also,
that.
Side note: getting your tonsils taken out is like the best thing that can happen because
Dude, what?
you get a 2-week recovery, and then you get like a week to go to the nurse and be like, my throat hurts when it really
Bruh.
doesn't, and you get to go back home and play video games. It was
Bro,
like-
you want to know what?
It
You
was
want to know
a
what's
My
actually good?
sister- Whoa. Okay.
Something that's actually good, bro, is you should go to somewhere and have a rock fall on your foot and give you an ingrown toenail, and you just stay home as long as you want.
Oh, I remember
Yes.
that.
Oh.
It's great.
Wow, Evan. Jesus Christ.
Really?
No,
for
he's not.
me,
It's just
it's
for
turning
him.
down.
You were at 143%. My bad.
Yeah, it's kind of like tonsils, except they actually have to remove the toenail.
Dude,
I thought you were
okay.
gonna say the toe. I thought you were gonna say the toe.
Idiot.
It's awful.
My sister got her tonsils removed. But like before, you could like hear her while she was sleeping. She was like gonna die.
Dude.
And then when she got her tonsils removed, they literally put a picture of her actual tonsils on a picture of Winnie the Pooh
Oh, I
holding them
hate that.
up. It
I
was
hate that.
so awful.
I
Why
hate
they
that.
do
It
that?
was so uncomfortable.
What the heck?
It was like real tonsils too. It wasn't. It wasn't
Photorealistic
I looked at it
tonsils.
and I was like,
Just rip them out.
It's just framed in your family's.
Not to
Just
mention
ripped
as
out her
well,
library.
like after you get your tonsils taken out, the only thing you can eat for like 2 weeks is pudding, ice cream, and popsicles.
I know, dude. It's like getting your
The greatest thing of all time.
But Chief, isn't that your teeth?
My diet for 2 weeks consisted of pasta, ice
Pasta
cream,
Smacks.
pudding, and like any other soft food that my mother could find. It was delicious.
You just eat
A lot
the
of mashed
Alfredo sauce
potatoes.
like that's
A lot of
food
mashed
for you.
potatoes.
That's
This
just
reminds me
like
of
getting your
braces.
wisdom teeth removed. That's just like getting.
Bro, I still have to get mine removed.
It's.
I'm gonna have to get mine removed.
Well,
I'm
like
gonna be honest with you. I
Yeah,
don't think I've gotten
I'm gonna have to-
either of those removed.
yeah. Well, it kind of sucks. Basically, like when they bring you in, I was super nervous. Like I
Yeah.
was like sweating basically,
Mhm.
and so they lay you down on this table, and you're already like really like in because it's gonna happen in this room. So you're like already stressing out.
It's so
And then
menacing.
they put an IV, that's what's called, into you.
What?
And
What? Really?
and
For, like,
um
wisdom
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah.
no, and
'Cause
so
they remove it because the wisdom tooth could damage a nerve, and they don't want
Whoa.
that. So
Well-
you take it out.
yeah, so, and they also just are pumping in water, and when they pumped in the water, I could like feel it go into my veins and up my arm.
Okay,
I don't
Andrew,
like
So
that.
weird.
I don't like
that at
that.
all.
What happens when you get an
Oh,
IV?
God.
No.
That's what
That's
happens.
another thing
It
with the
was- yeah, dude.
tonsils. That's
Can we
another thing with
talk
the
about-
tonsils.
Can we
Like
talk
I
about something other
couldn't
than our
eat.
bodily functions, Chief? Can we stop
Shut
talking
up.
about
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta share this.
dude.
I gotta share this.
No,
Do you-
can I
Like
finish
I
my
couldn't
story?
eat
Can I finish
or
my
Yeah,
drink
yeah.
for 2
Chief,
days.
yeah.
Or I couldn't eat for 2 days. before
Sam,
the
let
surgery.
Jacob talk. He's not
Yes,
done.
Sorry, Sam. Do you mind if I continue?
Yeah,
This
go
is-
for it.
Mm.
Okay, so they
Shut
said, okay, we're putting in the fluid to knock you out now through the IV, or I think they did. No, they put it on your nose, and like it like smelled normal, but then like I remember everything perfectly until just 1 second later I'm waking up. Like it
Oh,
was
yeah.
like it didn't even get fuzzy. It was just like
It's time
Well,
travel
it
IRL.
was like
No, genuinely.
I'm out.
I've
where am I?
been knocked out for surgery once. Is when I got got tubes in my ears because I was getting bad ear infections, bro. But
Oh, yeah.
the doctor there was like the chillest guy. He
Yeah.
was like, he's like, the anesthesia we're using doesn't really taste good. So if you don't like it, take deeper breaths. And so he puts the thing on. It does not taste good. It doesn't taste good. And I'm just chilling. And I'm reading this in. Like after a minute, I'm out. And I wake up and now my ears hurt. And I have cotton balls and I can't hear anything. I'm like, And they put me to where my parents were and I just vomited all into the bag, bro. And it was great.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's so bad.
Dude,
Like
it
that.
was all that chemical. It was all the chemical that they
Yeah.
used. It was in liquid form. I'm like,
Yeah, that's
Delicious.
like what like I had to get teeth removed at some point because like when I was a child, I had to get a crown on one of my teeth, and I had to get 4 teeth removed. The day
What?
before I
Right.
went into surgery, one of my teeth wasn't even wiggly. I pulled that motherfucker out of my mouth. Like I literally,
Yeah.
it wasn't even wiggling, and I just took it, I yanked, and
my
I
God,
didn't feel it.
yeah.
Like the root died, and my tooth was
done
still
that.
inside of my mouth. Like
All right, hold on.
so.
Speaking of crowns, flashback to there's a YMCA camp that we have all attended.
Oh,
I
no.
love this story. Yes,
Uh,
continue.
Bro.
The story is a combination of stupidity, being at the wrong place at the wrong time, and just
And you mauled it that night.
You mauled it so hard, Sam.
dude.
You mauled it
Don't
to this
spoil
to this
it.
very day. You
Yeah.
spoiled it,
Alright.
dude. Spoiler alert.
All right,
No,
okay, spoil
no,
edit that out.
I
Edit
want-
that
I'm
out.
bleeping it out. I'm bleeping it out.
Okay. So basically, we all arrive at this YMCA camp, right? And we're all checking in. Okay, it's a good time. We're having a good time for the week, doing normal camp stuff, right?
Mhm.
5th day rolls around. It's a 7-day long camp. 5th day rolls around. I have a date to the dance. I'm feeling pretty good about myself, right?
Oh, you
Uh,
did.
I'm sitting
those are so
down.
cringe.
Dude, I had a date. I had a date with a twin, and Daniel Hosp got the other twin,
Yes, dude. And then
Fucking
she
bro.
dumped Daniel.
and then she
You got
dumped
owned.
Daniel, and I still had my date on A. And B, I was having a really hard time telling them
You-
apart with Daniel
died.
dating the other one.
Sam.
I kid you not.
What a
I kid you
lad.
not. I kid you not. So I was kind of like, oh, thank God. I was kind of saved by the buzzer on that one. Because
Oh.
if we had both ended up going out, I probably would have gone with the wrong one.
Oh, that would have been a big
That would've
L.
been a big L. So anyway, I have a date to the dance. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I'm munching on some Skittles in my bunk.
Oh yeah.
So and then, Vince, let me tell the story, all right? So then I'm sitting in a bunk bed, right? You got the top bunk and the bottom bunk and the space in between. So when you're sitting in the bottom bunk, there's space in between, and that's right where I was. So this wise guy, what was his name, Jonas? Connor?
Carter.
No,
Carter?
it was
Doesn't matter.
it was the other Sam.
All right, no, his name
No,
was
it was
Carter.
Carter.
It was
Oh,
Carter.
It was
Anyway,
Carter.
Bruh.
Yeah.
there's a camp shop at this YMCA camp, right? They sell like frisbees for $5. This Carter fellow decides to buy a frisbee and thinks of the wonderful idea of trying to trick shot it through the bunk that I am sitting in.
My fucking god.
So he whips it at me, hits me in the face, front tooth breaks in half, right?
Oh.
Broke in half.
Yes.
I run to the bathroom, start spitting out bits and chunks, and I find my tooth. I go to my counselor. I'm like, "Hey, fella, can I go to the
Can I
nurse?
get a
please?
tooth?
Can I
Can I get a tooth?
Wait. Can we
Square
switch?
tooth.
Can we switch
Okay.
POVs
Also,
now? Can we
hold on,
switch
hold on,
POVs
wait.
right here?
I want to preface this by saying, after I came back, because I went to the nurse, right, and she was like, "All right, put some ice on it. The pulp's exposed. You're gonna have to get dental surgery." I'm like, "Fantastic, that's
Hey,
great."
I'm dead.
So I go back. Our cabin's at dinner right now at this point, right?
Oh no. Oh wait, yeah. You're right. My bad.
I
Sorry.
go,
I think so.
Jonas, you think you remember this better than
I'm
me?
sorry,
I
I'm
went through
sorry.
a traumatic experience.
Vince and
pal.
I want Vince and I to tell our points of
Alright,
view.
Yeah,
and
we have to
then
tell our point of view.
I head back to dinner, right? Carter's profusely apologizing. You think I'm accepting that apology? Fuck no. You kidding me?
And then I shot him with my
no.
Home Depot gun.
Yes. So I come over. Vince is like,
My Jesus
Vince
certified
has
nail gun.
bits of Skittles cradled in his hand, and he goes, "Sam, I found your tooth."
Wait, really? I don't remember that.
it was
Bruh.
I don't know if you had
Put it
I don't know
back
if you had the pieces, but you were like, "I found some pieces of your tooth in the sink." I was like, "No, dude, those are my Skittles." All right, that's part one. I'll let Jonas and Vince
No,
describe the rest.
can I go
of it.
first, Jonas?
I also
Vince
have a
will go
point of
first.
view in
Alright,
this.
Alright.
This is a POV swap,
Nah,
and then
the
we'll go
best
back
part,
to the
though-
rest of the night that occurred.
My favorite part though was that I was vibing in my bunk, right? Because it was almost nighttime.
Yeah, it was like
it was like so we were
like 4
because I think
o'clock.
there was a game. We were gonna play a game that night
It
with
was
all the
hold
with
on.
all the
It was
cabins,
right
right?
What-
after.
yeah, what
it
game was
right
it?
After. Hold
It
on.
was the
was
one
right
where we
after
had to
nighttime.
run in the dark, and then a person would get a flashlight and then say you're
Oh,
out.
was it Killer Pines night? No.
Killer
no, it
Pines,
wasn't.
Killer
No, it wasn't
Pines,
Killer
yeah.
Pines, because
It's
I remember
fine.
Killer Pines. Whatever.
All right, so
we're
but
gonna have a
no,
big
no,
game
no,
that night.
we were getting ready to play a game. We were all talking about how excited we were to play said game, right? And I'm sitting there, and I heard
Yo.
Carter. Apparently, he said something, and I just heard Sam scream. He goes ah, and he like stood up, and then he has his hands on his mouth and goes into the bathroom. We're like, huh, okay,
Oh,
I
okay.
think
okay, and
it
then
was
that's
Killer
where it
Pines, 'cause
fades. That's where it
I,
fades.
I think it was Killer Pines because I remember we were in the cabin to get changed into black.
Yeah,
Okay. We're probably
Yeah.
gonna
go ahead,
find it.
Jonas.
All right. So at this point, at dinner, 2 people get sent out to set the table, the cabin's table for dinner, and I was one of those people.
I
They
think it
sent
was
us
me
back.
and you, Jonas.
No. You were there.
No,
it was me and
yeah, sorry.
it was me and Ian, I think.
Mhm.
So I got sent back because they weren't ready for table setters yet. I opened the door of the cabin and it's complete chaos. Everyone, Sam is rushing out. He's just rushed out of the cabin as soon as I get there.
Oh yeah, I pass you on my way out, didn't I?
Yeah. I
Oh
was like,
boy.
what the hell- what is going on?
I also have a
Insane.
point of view in this, by the way.
What
I
point
wasn't
of
even
view?
there.
Point of
Yes,
view.
I
What
do.
point of view?
No,
What do you do?
I wasn't there, but I have a point of view in this. Trust me.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let
You know
Jonas
the
finish, and then
exact
I'll
date
get
that
back.
this
I'm
happened.
done.
I was at
That's all that
home.
happened.
I was at home, 8 o'clock, eating dinner, and then I went to bed.
No, I actually do have a point of view in this. Trust me.
All right, Jonas,
Your point of
finish your
view,
story. Or are you done?
Let's hear it. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, let's hear your story.
All right. So this was the next time I went to the YMCA camp. Can we say the name?
It doesn't.
What?
Nah,
It's
don't.
the
Okay.
most popular
All right.
one in
All right.
Yeah.
So
In Guam. Guam.
yeah, popular YMCA camp in Guam. All right. So Marcus and I, we go to Camp Guam,
Bro,
and
why'd you say his last name, Chief?
he's already on the
That's the
internet,
most generic
dumbass.
name of all
Dead.
time. Just let it roll.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so anyways, we go to camp, and our counselors, they're going over the list of rules, and they
Is
say,
there a rule
they
about
go-
not throwing
they
frisbees
go-
in the cabin?
yes, they go down the list, they're like, you can't do
swear to
this,
God.
do this, or do this, and they said, you cannot throw frisbees inside of the cabin, because
Rest in peace.
because a camper last week got hit in the face while inside the cabin and broke his front tooth, and I said,
I did not believe that at all.
I went back. I looked at Mark and said, I wonder who the fucking dumbass is that got hit in the face with a frisbee.
All right. Back to my perspective, right? I'm in the nurse's office. I went back to dinner, chilling with the boys at dinner,
Chilling.
and then
With your
With
your
your
hand in your
tooth,
mouth.
with your tooth
bleeding
snapped
with my
in half.
hand on my
profusely.
mouth, with an ice pack to my mouth, right? And so, all right, dinner's over. Everybody's getting ready for the dance. The dance was that night.
Oh.
That night, right?
Monkey, I
called-
remember this.
I called my mother. I called my mother when I had initially gone to the nurse's office, right, to come pick me up. She's like, "All right, we'll be out there in an hour." And so I'm eating dinner. That takes like 30 minutes. Head back to the cabin, pack up all my stuff. That takes maybe 15. Head back to the nurse's office. Wait there another 15. My family gets there.
Oh.
All right, and then I walk out to the family and to my family, and to get to the parking lot, you have to cross the tennis courts, which is where they hold the party, right? And the girl I was gonna go on a date with saw me, and she was like, "Are you okay, Sam?" And I'm like, "No, I am not.
No,
And
I'm
I
dead.
brought her.
Man, I'm
Believe it or
dead.
not, I'm not having a good time. Believe it or not. All right. Anyway, get in the car. Go back to my house, right? Drop off my mom and brothers, right? And my dad and I go to the hospital. It's like maybe 9 at
That's
this
like
point.
5 minutes away.
Oh,
Yeah.
9
Yeah.
o'clock, all right.
It's maybe 8 or 9 o'clock in the night, right? So we're waiting. We're sitting in the waiting lounge. I get called up, get my blood pressure, get all the stats that they need, and then they send me into like one of the patient rooms, right? I kid you not, I sat there for 2.5 hours.
Oh,
Bruh.
bro, that
And
sucks.
I remember these.
After like 2 to 3 hours of waiting, the lady comes in and she's like, "Okay, let me take a look." And then they take a look and they're like, "Okay, we can't do this here. We're going to redirect you to a different building." This building is closed at that point. The building that we're supposed to go to is closed. It's 11 o'clock at night.
Bonk.
We're not supposed to go. We're not. It's closed. So they call the physician on what's it called? On call, on duty or whatever. They're like, "Yo, we got this kid. His teeth are jacked up. You got to come reopen this
His
spot."
teeth are
His
jacked up.
teeth are broken.
His teeth.
yo, you gotta come see that
Whack.
stupid ass kid's teeth.
I wonder who the dumbass is that got hit by the frisbee.
Either way. So anyway, we go. We drive up to this. What's it called? Office, right? I kid you not. It looks like some shit out of a horror game. It's so funny. Like half the lights are turned on. Nobody's there. We pull up to this empty parking lot and we're greeted by this. She was a great doctor. Don't get me wrong. And she was very outgoing and kind. But I was so thrown off by her Russian accent at the beginning. I
Bruh.
was like, oh no. I'm dead. I'm going to die tonight.
It's a gook.
So she leads me and my dad through this half-lit
Litten.
shut up, Vince. Through this half-lit, office building. And we finally get to the chair, and her assistant just start going to work. And essentially what they did is,
They
how
grinded.
the stuff that you get for cavities, like the filling that you get
What?
for cavities.
Yeah.
So what they have to do is my pulp was exposed, which is like the little living stuff inside your teeth.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so they put a patch over it with that. And then what they do is they reattach my broken off tooth to my tooth, right? And so they're like, "All right, cool, dude, you're done. You're ready. You're ready to go off." It's 12:30 at night at this point. I'm like, "Cool, dude. I'm really tired. I just want to go to bed." I haven't eaten in about 8 hours. I was so hungry. So on the way back home, we stopped at Taco John's.
Oh no! Oh no!
And then I ate some Taco John's, and then I went to bed.
How did
In the
you eat?
morning, my tooth was gone. The half was gone. I couldn't
swallowed
find it. I couldn't find it. It wasn't in my mouth. It wasn't on my bed. It wasn't on
It
the
went
floor.
Terminator and
I had
walked
swallowed
away.
it. I had swallowed it.
Oh my god.
I have a POV at
And
this
then
point.
so I'm sitting with a half tooth, and then 3 weeks later, they're like, "All right, dude, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can get a crown now, or you can get a crown later." I was like, "This is tying back to the crown thing." I'm like, "I'll get it later." So basically, they just patched it with the filling, and then they molded a tooth around it.
Bruh, that's scuffed.
Huh.
It was so scuffed. It was not a fun
Did
time.
it look like a tooth?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks like a
okay.
tooth.
Still
wasn't like-
does.
Okay.
Yeah, my teeth look fine now. They're just gonna, like, whenever they take an X-ray at the dentist, they're like, "You're missing half your front tooth," you know. I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
very
Frisbee
aware.
accident, man. Frisbee accident.
Frisbee accident.
I remember
Got
the
it.
night of the dance. Because
Yep.
didn't you leave during dinner?
Yeah, no, I left after dinner.
Oh, okay, because I remember we went to the dance. Me and I just remember talking to Jonas. I'm like, "Hey, where's Sam?" And I remember just being like, "You expect me to know?" I remember you said that specifically. It's like I was like, "Jesus, Jonas." But then the next morning we wake up and my stupid little kid brain. I'm like, "Huh? Why isn't Sam back yet?" It was so
Really
dumb.
did.
And then when we go back into school, like the next year, because I didn't see you guys much after that. And then like when we went back, I remember Sam being like, "Vince, look at my tooth. You remember that half that got chipped off?" I looked at it. It was just like a distinct little line just going down half your tooth. We're all like, "Sick, dude. That's crazy."
That's worn off now
You're
from like
cyborg.
eating or whatever. As well as like, I went to a baseball camp like 2 weeks after, or not
Badass.
indiscreet
And then a baseball hit
YMCA
you
Guam
straight in
camp.
the teeth.
Wow.
Yeah, and all of them fell
Bro,
out. All of
it
them tumbled
almost hit
out.
me in the
All of
teeth.
them took
It almost
baseball
hit me.
bats and caved your.
Okay.
Caved your face along.
So it's a baseball camp, right? It goes on for about a week. Okay. 3rd day, I get clocked in the face out in left field
Oh my god.
with a baseball. Okay.
You're prone to
I
accident.
go and sit out a
Jeez.
couple innings, right? I go and sit out a couple of innings. I come back in. I'm like, all right, I'll play third base. You know, that's where I'm most comfortable. Guy pops one out to left field. The left fielder scoops it, right? He throws it in. It misses my glove, and I get hit straight in the mouth.
Oh my.
Kushan.
It
God
was
really,
not
God
it was
really
not a
hates your
fun
tooth,
time.
bro. That tooth must.
Wait,
Just get rid of it.
Sam's tooth is the
Take
Antichrist.
it out.
This
get
is
rid
such
of your
a.
teeth.
Yeah,
Jesus just
I don't know,
hates
man.
Yeah.
It was an interesting couple of weeks for my face, that's for sure.
wait,
Speaking.
I got a pretty
Speaking
good-
of.
I got a pretty good
Speaking of
story.
camp.
We should
Okay.
we should go through and say what our worst injuries are.
Oh no.
Alright.
Oh no.
Yes,
Okay.
All right,
All right.
yes, this is a fun time.
All right, Jacob, you go.
Sam,
Jacob, you
you're
go.
done.
Yeah.
Jacob, you go.
I wasn't even my worst though.
Alright, okay.
All right.
So here's I have 2 things I could talk about. Either worst injury, which isn't that bad. It's entertaining but not bad, or the worst day so far of my life. Either one.
Nah, that sounds
Do,
depressing.
do the entertaining
No,
one,
no,
yeah.
it's
Do
not
the
depressing.
entertaining one.
It's not
Injury.
What the funny one?
Injury.
Why don't we do
Entertaining one.
both?
Injury
we
one.
can't get hurt.
Just
with
do both.
both.
Just do both. Yeah.
It's not depressing.
Oh no.
Okay.
Just go down the line. Jonas will be next.
Here, I'll do the injury thing, which is Ted. Okay. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So I'm just gonna do the worst day of my life. It's not depressing. Okay. So I just got picked up from school. You know, I'm not vibing because I really did not like school back then because all my teachers were, you know, bad.
How old were you during this, or like
This
what
was in middle
vague time was this?
I
okay.
think it's 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade. I don't know.
Middle
A-
school
a
sucked,
grade.
dude. I hated it.
Yeah.
Y'all
But okay.
dog on that, bro.
I get picked up and okay, sorry, I'm trying to okay. and we're driving right down the road where the school is on the road, and it's on the three-way drive that you guys know, and we're on the side, and somebody's turning from the three-way drive onto our side, and they just smash right into the side of our car and like dent the driver door in, and the car looks screwed, dude. And like we get out and we talk to him, he had to be high, dude. Like there's no other way. Like he was like, "There's ice, dude. There's ice," but like there's clearly no ice, and it was just like,
Dude, it's black ice. It's
you were-
black ice.
It was blacked our heroin. That's what.
Bruh.
And so, yeah, so we probably should have called the police. I'm gonna be honest with you, but we got his insurance information, whatever. We're already really stressed, but the car runs, thank God. Okay?
Yeah.
We drive the rest of the way home. Okay, we pull in, and the family is just. I have 3 sisters, so the house is already kind of chaotic. They're running around, playing games, being loud. My dad's on the phone with the insurance company, and my mom's just stressed because the girls, the car, everything up. I just decide, okay, I'm gonna go to my room because I don't want to deal with this. I go up and I walk into my room. This is in the house that I'm currently living in. And there's a chair, and it was a really thick chair. You can't see what's underneath it. I start walking. I'm about to sit down, and from underneath the chair, a bat jumps underneath, grabs my leg with both wings, and starts squeaking at me. It's like the scariest thing I've ever, because it was so fast.
Chaos.
And so
Chaos
I just take it
ensued.
off, and I'm just like screaming because like this was really fast and really scary. And so it jumps on me. I like kick it off, and then I run out. I don't even close the door. That's how panicked I was. And it's if a bat's just in my room. Their sisters running around, not know what's going on. My dad's on the phone with the insurance company. I'm just like freaking out. I'm starting to cry because it was like it was so scary.
Imagine being the insurance guy on the other end of the line, being like,
Yeah.
"What
Hearing
the hell is
screaming.
going on in
And
that
so
crack
we're like, my mom's like, you could have rabies. Did you close the door? Children, shut the hell up. It was so, and so I had to run back up there and close the door, and I was like shaking, and so I closed the door, and I have to like step outside and like do laps, like I was like just walking around.
This is some shit out of like Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
I know, dude.
Have you
And like
seen-
my parents weren't, my neighbors weren't
Jacob's
home.
Greg Hevlin.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm
He's
bald.
Roderick, bro.
Have you
And-
guys seen some of those videos of the humans with rabies?
Nah.
Well, that's
Wait,
the
let
no.
Jacob
the thing.
finish.
We thought I had rabies, or like we had to go check. So we went to the hospital, and my dad just got off the phone, and apparently he went in to get it, and he had to get a tennis racket because just to kill it. So he opens the
Operation
Kill it.
End It.
He opens the yes, kill it. It's in our house.
Just
He
let
goes
it
out.
out.
has been training me for this moment."
Yeah,
It's
I
our
know. He
property.
goes in. It's literally just sitting on my freaking pillow. It's on my pillow.
Vibing.
I hated it. It's such a disgusting image of bat
Oh.
on your pillow. Okay, he tries to get it. It misses. He misses. It flies. It flies up out of my room, goes downstairs, and it's now in the living room. And our living room and our kitchen are connected to make a circle. It's just running in circles around. And my dad, every time when it goes around, he's just swinging at it. It misses every time. And so I don't know any of this. I'm just driving, like freaking out, just like taking deep breaths. And so eventually it clings onto our curtains. And my dad, I don't know what happened there. I think my dad eventually, like, because bats are really good at climbing. So they're like climbing.
Head in. Made him look
Yeah,
like
dude.
Tyler 1.
And so I think eventually he just
Split his wig.
He just goes and just like.
Ah.
Oh
It's
no.
such a disgusting
Oh, yeah.
sound.
And so he
It's
just
like
like
Tom and
dead
Jerry.
yet because who knows? So he throws it outside and puts a bucket on top of it. And well, no, wait. Oh,
Zombie head
and then no, I don't think that's actually what happened. I think it was in
Lie.
the living room and he threw it outside without the bucket. And then this is all I'm probably gonna tell a fake story, but I'm just gonna say how I remember it because it's more entertaining.
Of
So
course.
I'm like fairly positive this is not true, but I think he left the door open because he was trying to, or left the window open in my room because he was trying to scare it out, and I think he was. It gets really blurry from here, but he.
Because you have rabies, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you have rabies, man.
it's-
You're
it's-
It's foaming
completely
from the
unconscious.
mouth right now.
he throws it in our backyard, and I think it's still alive. And then
Bruh.
I think it flies back into the house, but through my room,
Jesus
but through
Christ.
my window room,
You're
and
Oh,
that's
dead,
where
no.
where he ends it. I think. That's
Oh,
I'm
no.
pretty sure that's incorrect.
Game
but-
ends.
That's where he.
That's so-
Is that really the
David
worst
Bowie
day of your
Lowe.
life, dude?
Lizzie's the
Well,
bat
Oh.
right there.
I've had a really fortunate life, so it's not that
Jacob,
bad.
one of the best part about this though,
Yeah.
I remember you talking. I think because didn't you talk to me about that like a couple days after it happened in
Yeah. I
theater
was
class?
freaking- Yeah, dude. I told you.
You're
about
like, bruh,
it was
haha, funny
fucking-
scary thing, bro.
Yeah, and then so we're driving to the hospital. My point of view now, and we get in. I'm like curled up with my knees tucked in over my arms, just like rocking around. And we're in the waiting room. They pull us into the really far side of the hospital, like where there's nobody there, pretty much. And they don't even have rooms; they just have curtains. So it was so awkward, and there was no lighting at all. So like Sam, when he got his tooth knocked out, we waited for like 2 hours, and then we got there and we're like, okay, do you we could give you just a rabies shot, but that's like $500. And so my family's like, no, we're not doing that.
Bruh.
We have to- and they're like,
Blonde is
or
terrible.
you could find the bat. And I think that's when my dad, because he threw it outside, and then we were like, we need to get the bat. And then he looks around outside, and I think he scares it back into the window, and then that's
Oh,
where he
no.
gets it. So I
Oh
think
my
that's what
God.
happened. And
Your
so,
dad needed a shot too.
dude, probably. I don't know though.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know.
He
And then
could
we
have
got it,
rabies to this
in
day.
a plastic bag, and it didn't have rabies because it was a house bat, thank God. But we got we called in pest control to see if there's any more up there. They didn't see anything, and they replaced it with the there's a hole in our attic because it came from my attic because there's an entrance from my attic into my room. So
Oh.
we replaced it with a one-way gate. So once they leave, they're out. You know.
Bruh,
Yeah, we haven't had issues since. So
you should have gotten rabies for the bit, bro.
You should. Yeah, bro.
Yes,
Funny.
yes, it would have been funny.
Jonas.
Funny.
Right? Yeah, I got a pretty good injury story. My worst injury is pretty good.
Is it when you
Uh,
smacked your toe?
No,
no.
don't.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, my
We
mini
got
my mini
brutalized.
injury is the only time I've broken a bone was actually at Sam's house.
Oh my god!
I jumped over a brick wall and I hit my foot in a really weird way and it broke something. But that wasn't the worst one.
broke his
Uh,
toe.
Right. So my family was at we were at a family friend's wedding. They were having a wedding out at a barn.
What?
And me and some of my cousins, we were running around the barn. We were just chasing each other around the barn. And we were having a good time. And it was getting kind of dark. It was probably like 7 o'clock. So it was getting sun. And there was like a shed outside of the barn with
Yeah.
tools and stuff in it. It was pitch black in the shed. You could not see anything in the shed. And there were two doors in and out on either side of the shed. So one of my cousins, he ran through the shed and out to the other side. And so I followed him in. I couldn't see anything, so I bumped something, and then
No.
I just felt something hit my head. I
I hate that.
exit the shed.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, my head feels kind of weird. What's going on? And I touch it with my hand, and I look at my hand, and it's just covered in blood.
Yee.
It was
Ow.
my hand was just
Like
soaked.
all of it?
What?
Yes.
Like my fingers where I touched it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I had found out that something hit my head, something fell on my head, and it's basically split it open. There's a dent in my head.
You're
You're
Tyler,
Tyler
One.
one.
I was Tyler 1. So my family was like, "All right, we gotta seal up your dumbass head."
They cauterize it, bro.
Luckily,
Yes, head.
there was the farmer there was like, "Oh, I have some experience.
I have experienced
I'm
this
gonna super glue your head
no,
shut. I'm gonna
no,
super glue it
no.
shut."
I dropped my child.
Hold on,
Max.
Tyler. Shut up.
I dropped my dial in a nail.
Tell this story. This part of the story is the most scuffed part.
Yeah.
Jonas, did you
We
get?
go into
bro,
the farmer's house who owns the barn, and he's like, "I'm gonna super glue your head shut, buddy." It's like, what the f- are you kidding me? You're gonna super glue my head? He was like, "Yes, I gotta do it." And,
I gotta do it.
Meanwhile,
I was
you're
terrified. I was
you
like,
you are
that's
not
gonna hurt
okay
so
with
much, dude. You're gonna put super glue in my brain.
Was your brain showing, bro?
Oh, my brain was not
Is
showing.
his
Luckily,
brain showing?
Bro,
we
that
probably
sucks,
would
bro.
not be alive today if my brain was showing.
No,
Bro,
you could.
Bruh.
his brain was in front of a cam.
Jonas.
Yeah, so it didn't hurt that much actually. He just kind of glued it shut, and then I was pretty much fine.
Jonas,
You got glue on the brain.
so technically that means you got head, bro.
Wait, what
Yeah.
hit you in the head, though? What hit you in the
Shut
head?
up. Shut up.
What? Oh, it was like a
It was a frying
Basically-
pan.
from I don't know, for some reason I've always said it was an axe, but I don't think it was actually an axe. If it was an axe, it
Shovel,
would
bro.
probably have been a lot worse.
I
A
feel like
shovel.
Like a shovel.
axe would have been a
Yeah,
much
dong.
worse.
It was God.
You
He just came over with
was
a
God,
hammer.
yeah.
Donk.
Just bonk my head. Bonk.
Bro, Jonas,
yeah.
just imagine it was a pickaxe, bro.
Bro, you just skewered
Yeah.
yourself.
You know how far that would
It
go
was
into your head, Chief?
Pretty far.
Alright, so
Wait,
if you
before we start,
Actually, I have one more. I have one more.
Bruh.
This is
before we start.
that wasn't actually the worst injury, but that was the only one I remember. The
How do
other
you
one
remember
happened
that,
when I was
bro?
like,
Funky
What?
with your head, bro.
bro, I was like 7. But
Never mind.
the other one happened when I was 2, and I was at a library and I fell down a set of stairs and I hit my head at the bottom, and I cracked that
Ow.
open.
Funny.
That's
Your
probably
head, your poor head.
Bro,
Your
why is
poor
your
head.
trying to kill
No
itself?
wonder you're
That's
so
an egg.
stupid.
You have your egghead, dude.
Yeah, this is why
No
I'm
way.
so dumb, because my head just keeps getting bonked.
That's the only body part that ever gets hurt.
Like an egg.
I might have brain damage.
Alright.
Yeah,
Yeah,
edit
Jake,
in,
you're
yeah,
just
edit in
retarded.
the bonk sound effect.
Okay. I'll edit a picture of Jonas getting bonked.
Yeah. Can we go on a quick break real quick? Just so I can use the restroom.
Yeah, I need to use the restroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick break.
Alright, yeah, I
Everyone
forgot
go
to get
pee at the
water.
same
I'm gonna
time.
go get water.
Everyone go pee at the same time. Gamer pee.
Alright. I'd like to announce that this episode is sponsored by laxatives. Thank you, laxatives.
Thank you,
Everybody take a
laxatives.
quick shot.
Get a round of applause for laxatives.
Woo! Let's go laxatives.
Best
Sure.
shit of my life, dude.
Thank God.
Rated 5 out of 2.
Pretty good.
You could say this is the best shit I've ever had.
Yeah.
Biggest shit I ever had.
Best shit I
Literally,
ever had.
Imagine
and
taking laxatives.
My bowels are relieved.
Let's all start clapping at the same time.
when he comes back.
So we can like, dude, so we can sync the audio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just sync the
I
audio.
agree.
All right, 3, 2,
No, not yet, not yet.
1.
Alright, what's up, fellas?
All right,
wait
we
for him
just
to
need
come back.
Vince.
Wait for Vince to come back, and then we.
No, yeah, let's do that thing where it's in movies and you just like click. You know, I don't know how to explain it. The cardboard thing, and then the other thing goes down.
The cardboard thing, and then they clap and laugh.
Cardboard thing, yes sir. They clap and laugh.
Before you
We
start,
just have a sign that just has laugh on it.
Jackson,
Like one of those light up boards that says
Laugh!
it lights up whenever a joke says just laugh.
Yes, add one of those in.
Bro, what's going on?
And
All right.
then
Let's get a round of
All right.
applause for Vince.
Let's go. Can we get a round of applause for Vince? Let's go, Vince. Let's go.
Good job.
Let's go, Vince.
all right, we're back, and Jack, take it away in your story.
All right, so I have 2 stories, but I'm gonna keep them short. It's my scariest pain and my most like drawn out pain.
Go scariest.
Scariest?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do both, but I'll go scariest first, because like these things are so stupid. Alright, so my first one was, as I mentioned earlier, rock fell on my foot. I didn't care much for it. I developed an ingrown toenail on my foot that I didn't even recognize it as an ingrown toenail until a month after it developed.
Oh.
I went to the doctor to get it removed, and he's like, come sit in the back, sit on this chair, and he brings up like no joke, he brings up like a scalpel. He brings he has over like 10 tools on his thing. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
what are you gonna do with that?
It's going to cut you
My
into
mom's like,
pieces.
don't worry, don't be scared. He's just gonna remove part of your toenail, and
toe.
he's gonna pull some of your skin back. I'm like,
He's gonna remove your toe, honey. It's
did I
alright.
sign up for
It's
this?
alright, he's just
I
gonna
was like,
cut your
yes,
toe off.
please, huh?
Oh,
I
wait.
did not consent to this, mother.
Yummy.
Please help me.
Exactly.
Don't worry,
So
I signed your waiver.
yeah, exactly. That's
I
what
signed your
happened.
waiver for you.
You're
So-
legally obligated to do this.
Okay,
You're
So-
that's
legally
like I hate
obligated to die for me.
All right, so while this is all happening, he's just like, okay, so I'm just gonna give you this this anesthetic.
Laxative.
It's laxative. It's gonna make it so you can't feel your foot. And I'm like,
I'm gonna give you
okay,
this suppository real quick.
but am I gonna get something that will like knock me out so I don't have to see it? He's like, nah, you should be fine without it. No joke.
I couldn't even imagine looking at it.
I watched the whole thing, so I knew exactly what was happening.
Oh.
I'm one of those people who has
Why
to.
don't you just close your?
I
why
have
don't
to
you
look at it. It's
close
like the
your
thing I have to do.
eyes?
Okay, so he pulls out this needle, and the needle's like wider than or not wider, but like longer than my toe length. I'm like, I'm just picturing the image of the guy with the needle through his arm, and it's like coming out the other side. I'm like, nah. So he injects it, and I'm like, can you move your foot? I'm like, yeah, and I start wiggling it, and he's like, take it 1 minute. And this is like, he goes by like 5 minutes maybe. And he's like, wiggle your toe again. I'm like, I can't wiggle it. And he's like, can you feel this? I'm like, I can feel it, but it's like, nah, I don't care.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
Oh, you idiot.
yeah, that's where I was wrong. So this man, he's like, do you need any more? I'm like, nah, I can't really feel anything. He's like, are you sure?
Oh, no. I
So
can't feel it when you poke my toe with your finger, but you know, if you stick a knife in there, it might hurt some more.
So this man, he takes like these scissors. I'm not gonna get into detail, but he used
Shut up. End it.
scissors.
I'm eating cheese sticks, bro.
He used a pair of like these weird scissors, the scalpel looking thing,
I'm
because
turning it off. At this point, no.
Yeah, okay, I'll end it. I could feel the whole thing though, and I'm like, oh no.
I'm looking like
I'm
just
scared.
down the
Let
SCP
him
plays, bro.
finish.
All right,
I want to hear it.
you want
I
to
want
hear
to
it?
hear how he got his foot amputated.
He pulled the skin back, took the scissors, lifted my toenail, cut my nail in half, and while like the
Yeah,
actual alive
story.
part, then I saw him remove my toenail out of my skin.
People are gonna think
please,
this
yes.
is a foot fetish podcast.
No kidding. All right, so now
welcome
for my
to
next
Crimbo
one,
and
which
RaccARooni.
is
Wait,
No.
should we pass it on to Travis? I know I took up a long time, but
all right. I can make
I
this one
took up
really
a very
fast.
long time.
This is my most well-known story.
Bonk.
Let's hear it. Let's
All
hear
right, so
speed run.
this is a school
Speed run.
event, and
it.
school
This
event,
story.
and I'm on a bike. Now,
Oh yeah.
this bike, I just got it for whatever reason. I think it was my birthday, and it's a school event, so we're all riding. And I chose to do the hard event, even though I wasn't on a bike for like a month. And
I was with him.
yeah, this is with Evan and a bunch of my other friends. So I was in the back naturally because I like wanted to enjoy this, and I wasn't like trying to speedrun it like this other kid. And I'm in the back with another kid named Bleep, but he tags my back wheel. I start to lose control. I start swerving and going off the side of the thing. He passes me, and he leaves me there with, like, it's just me and this other kid, and at the bottom of the hill, there's a fire hydrant. And I smack the fire hydrant, go do, like, as the person watching described, a cartwheel, and landed on my arm and snapped my arm. And not
It was
only
awful.
was this break was different than the others because the two bones, my body weight compressed just as hard as the ground, so my bone imploded.
Was it? I was gonna say,
It did a
was it
funny.
a compound fracture? A compound fracture is when the bone sticks out of your skin.
Oh no, but it was
no.
you could see like a bump. Where
I
my
hate that.
Yes.
And
I'm just imagining
I'm-
this kid. I'm just imagining this kid as he hits you. Like, what a fucking loser.
no, he was my friend. He was literally one of my best friends at the time.
Wait,
I
really?
know who.
I
thought
got
it was-
abandoned. I was on the grass with a broken arm and everyone else ditched me. And the stupidest kid in the world came back because he noticed I was gone, but he didn't bring the rest of the group. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Are you okay?" I'm sitting there. I don't cry but
I'm
I
a
have
man,
a
I
lump.
don't cry.
I have a
don't have tears.
no.
I can't cry.
I
That's
didn't cry.
physically impossible.
But I had a bump on my arm, and he's like, "Yo, are you okay?" I'm like, "Do you think my arm's supposed to look like this?" And he's like, "I don't know. Let me run ahead and go get them." I'm like, "They left me?" So here comes all of them coming back. I have already made like a sling for myself out of my jacket, and
Jacket sling.
like right before everyone got there, it came back before everyone else again. And
Wait. Was it the that was it
yes,
the one?
trying to be and
It's our boy.
all right, and this guy's like, "Oh my god, I saw the whole thing happen. Should I call the paramedics?" I'm like, "Nah,
Yeah, random
good.
guy.
I'm fine.
I'm like, no, I'm like, I'm fine." He's like,
No, dude, I'm chilling.
He's like, "Okay," and he runs away. A few minutes later, after everyone's there, I hear sirens. I'm like, I did not want to do this because of the ambulance ride. I'm not paying that much money for an ambulance ride. I'll just drive
It
myself.
costs so
Yeah.
much money.
Guam's
does
healthcare
cost so much
system
money.
is kind of fucked.
Yeah. So I'm in
Guam
like
healthcare,
that's where I was offered a job to be a paramedic because I made myself a sling. Yeah. It was a joke, but yeah.
They're like, good job, kid.
Yeah, that's
Here,
pretty
you
much
want to be
the
an
basics.
EMT with us and help?
Save
Yeah,
people.
Imagine-
that was my
lives,
first
imagine-
ambulance ride.
You know,
Imagine
Nah.
you just have a
Put
heart
together
attack
people's
and this
bodies.
9-year-old walks up and you're like, oh.
No, I was 12 at the time.
Oh, whatever. This 12-year-old kid walks up and you're like, oh.
I'll put a
that's how
sling on
that's
it.
how it's gonna be. That's cool.
I'll sling your heart, bro.
Travis's
Travis's
turn.
turn.
Travis's turn.
Travis,
Alright.
you go.
All right, I got
Travis
two
injury.
stories. All right, I got the funny
Oh.
story and the gross story. All right, which one do you want me to start with?
You can do both of your if you do.
Right, which one do you want me to start with?
Do
Though?
funny.
Funny, yeah.
Funny.
Do the
All
funny.
right. So, both these injuries happened this year actually. So,
Bruh.
right.
That's stupid, bro.
During summertime, I went to a football camp at the school, and the school's not that far from where I live, so I just bike there. I bike on this like 25-year-old mountain bike my dad got when he was like still like a
Yeah.
teenager or something.
Oh,
Dude,
Travis,
you
is that
ride
the one that
you ride an
go-
ancient
Yeah,
bike too?
yeah.
That one? Oh wait, I think I'm.
Let me explain. All
Yeah.
right. So, right, there's a hill on my way to the school, right? So I thought one day, how about I go as fast as possible down this hill, and just to make sure I'm not wearing any sort of protection. All I'm wearing is a
Of course.
backpack, a t-shirt, some shorts, and some tennis shoes. No helmet.
Oh, no.
No
dude.
underwear.
jeans.
Idiot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went
So,
commando that
No
day.
toenail.
Ew.
No toenail. No
Oh,
toenail.
right.
No
so,
tooth
This is a
either.
toenail-free zone.
I start going down the hill, right? I start pedaling as fast as possible, and then I begin to lean forward down the hill. And I'm flying. Like, I'm keeping up with the cars going down the hill. And then as I think like, oh, I'm gonna die if I'm not careful. Right as I think that, my face is like 2 inches from the concrete. And
Ugh.
from there, I skid my face on the concrete for like maybe 3 to 5 feet.
That's not
And
funny. It's
Oh.
And then
You're dead.
Dude, this is
I
a
put
funny
my
one.
arms up, and then I like get 3rd-degree burns on my elbows.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ,
bro,
man.
not funny.
And then I
Friction
roll like
burns?
another
It's
7
pretty
feet.
funny.
right.
Well,
Then I'm sitting there dazed, like, did I die?
Am I dead? Is this heaven?
I open
Am
my
I
eyes
dead?
and then I stand up like, what happened? I look at my bike and my bike wheel had like bent because I was leaning forward
Oh,
on
no.
the bike.
Travis.
And I don't think those tires have been changed ever since they were bought. So,
uh,
I put my hand, I can feel my arm stinging. I put my hand up to my face and there's just blood all over
Bruh.
my hand. And now I'm just sitting there like, okay, now what do I do? And I'm alone, right? And this is like there's like no one around. I can't see anyone. All right. So I decided to call my mom. She doesn't pick up because she had a night shift last night, so she's sleeping. I'm like, oh, well, she can't come and pick me up.
Oh, that
So,
sucks.
I call my dad, and he's like, oh, well, you see, work, and I can't relieve right now, so you're kind of stuck there. So I'm sitting there with 3rd-degree burns on my arm, probably with a concussion, like,
Dude.
Just take a nap.
Not
Just take a
having a
nap,
great
bro.
time.
Just take a nap.
Very funny.
How do you
Very
handle
funny.
this, bro?
Yeah, now then I start freaking out because then I realize I'm alone. All right, I can't do anything.
Ride the bike.
Right?
Shut up. Shut up.
No, Travis, why didn't you just continually do a wheelie all the way home?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just go back up the hill and go down again?
Bro, I have
Yeah,
too
but
much
you-
backwards
Why-
and
Dude,
forwards
This
mass
time
to
at
do a
an
wheelie.
angle so that your wheel works properly.
Big idea. Big
Yeah,
idea.
Bruh.
You just go down the hill again, and then your skin reattaches to your face that was on the.
Yeah,
hill.
You go backwards. You go backwards.
Yes.
Yeah, go backwards. Yes.
All right.
Right. So now I start freaking out. Right. I'm screaming. I'm crying because I realize there's no one here to help me. And then all of a sudden, I'm so dizzy, I fall over onto the grass.
Oh my god.
I'm just sitting there looking at the sun, like, yeah, this is how I die. And then
You bitches
luckily,
almost died.
luckily, there was a soccer mom with her little Honda Odyssey parked.
Yo,
across
that's
the
what
road.
I'm driving.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Can you walk? I'm like, yeah, sure. I stand up and then I'm like
He
limping.
falls
'cause
to the ground instantly.
I'm so tired. I can't move. It's like, oh yeah, no, you've got something wrong with you. So I sit down and now I'm going into shock. Like I'm shaking because the adrenaline of just all of this was too
Going
much.
to hell and back.
Exactly. And then like 10 more. Like mom stopped by, like, oh, are you okay? Rah, rah. I get bandaged up.
Crowd of
Yeah.
moms.
Yeah.
Just start kissing your wounds.
Exactly.
Third degree
Yep.
wounds.
Instantly healed. Instantly healed.
They give you some. They give you some mama's milk on rent.
They just
The
pop their
power of
mouth
mother's
and
milk
they're just,
heals me.
like, just drink.
The
Oh,
power
Right.
of mama's milk.
Yeah.
heals
Okay,
And
you.
then-
okay, Travis, start.
And the ED comes and they're like, oh, get in the thing, blah blah blah. I make it to the hospital. They're like, yeah, you got a minor concussion. You're gonna do fine though.
What about
Like,
your skin?
okay. Oh, my skin? Right. So
Gone.
Gone.
yeah, I
Reduced
still
to
have
atoms.
scars. I still have scars. Like the worst one is on my my right arm. Like my weenus
Oh.
is destroyed because
I
of it.
forgot it's called that.
My nerves were open
Travis.
on that arm. Yeah.
Travis can
when
no
you're
longer
older,
feel his
when you're
elbow.
older, since you're so big, people are gonna think you got into like a bar fight or something. People are gonna genuinely think like you hurt somebody to get those scars.
Well,
Honestly.
like,
Yeah.
did-
Well, no, we got these scars.
dude,
Bike accident.
Bike accident.
Mhm. Okay.
To this
But
day,
the
they
funny
still
part
make
of-
fun of him for having no skin. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
This is the
Call
funny
him no
story.
skin Travis.
Yeah, no. The funny part about this is that my parents decided to take me back, or take me to school,
Bruh.
right,
Oh.
where the camp is going on. I head into the locker room, like everyone's like, "Hey, Travis, well, what the hell happened to you?" Like, because I have my face is all bloody up. I've got scars everywhere on the.
Oh yeah,
on
I
my
got in a fight
toothpaste.
like 8 dudes. I managed to hold them off.
Yeah,
no
I
problem.
They
Yeah, I
tortured
got
me, peeled
jacked.
off my skin, you know.
Yeah, I got
Peel off my elbow.
hair and I, like, fucking
They took a
kicked it out of it.
potato peeler and went to town on my elbows real quick.
Oh, ugh, no.
They were just going to town with it, bro. They were just peeling carrots.
Ah.
Okay,
Like,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically, in the end,
no
then I
skin.
went to school, and everyone's like, "What happened to you?" Blah blah blah. I just said, I fucking died, and that's about it.
Wait,
You got
Travis,
resurrected
is this
3
when we
minutes
were
later.
Were we friends at this point?
Jake,
Like,
this
when
happened
was it?
this year. This was ninth
Oh,
grade.
I remember this. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Yes. All right.
Yeah,
Now
Jake.
here's the unfunny story. All right. So in order for this
Wait, that
story
was
to
the
make
funny
sense,
one?
Yeah, exactly. That was the funny one.
all right. In order for this story to make sense, right? I'm gonna send a
arm
picture
fucking
in
fell off.
gaming. All right.
Okay,
You
so-
have to put it
Right.
in chat.
This is called what?
Is that you?
No, that's not me. This
Oh,
is a
okay.
picture of a
Who's just
arm-
getting dumb?
Yeah.
It's called a hip toss. All right. This is a normal wrestling move that happens in wrestling, right?
No.
So
That dude
right,
is dead.
His head is gonna go into
Top
his
10
body.
pictures
Right,
taken moments before
right.
death.
His spine is gonna collapse.
normally the only thing that you'll get out of this is the wind knocked out of you and maybe being choked for like a solid 5 seconds. But
And then death.
yeah, basically,
Death
right?
is
We're at,
imminent.
Death.
yeah,
Death is imminent.
we're at like
Enemy, enemy.
we're at the end of the
Eminem.
wrestling season, right?
Uh-huh.
There's like 2 weeks left, right? We're
Okay.
about to have our final wrestling meet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're upstairs. We do this like little running around the mat, and then we go up the weight classes, and they wrestle each other and stuff. So it was my turn up on the mat, and I was up against this varsity level wrestling guy.
Bruh.
That's
In
fair.
But he
ninth
was like,
grade?
yeah,
Oh,
in
no.
wrestling you combine all the grades and stuff. So
Oh.
it was basically a hip toss competition because we both got each other in the hip toss position. But in the end, he won. But he did it extremely like intense in with all his strength and stuff.
Jesus.
So right. Normally you would land on your side. I landed on my shoulder and
Oh.
I
Oh,
screamed out and I let out a yelp.
like a
And the
dog.
coaches are like, "Get up, pussy! You walk it off." And I'm like,
Did they
Are you
actually say that?
stupid?
yes, yes.
Walk it off.
Hold on, let me say that's such a wrestling coach thing to say.
I know,
From,
dude.
like,
Yeah.
That's
two
like an
weeks that I
old,
did
that's
wrestling.
like
That's
an old red zone football coach.
That's an
I
old
love
like
that.
that happened to
Walk
me
it
in
off.
soccer. I broke my ankle in soccer and they told me to keep playing. I kept playing.
I have
Welcome to
one
sports,
story.
boys.
Okay. Vince, it's
All right.
Vince's turn. We gotta get down.
I'm not.
All right.
Hold
I
on.
have
Wait,
one
okay,
more.
he's not done yet. He's not done.
Hold up. I'll shorten it real quick. Basically, what happened was once the meet was over, my arm was still hurting. I tried to untie my shoe and I like nearly died. Right. And then everyone was like, "Dude, your shoulder's fucked up, dude. You see like my
Really?
shoulder bone was like poking out of my
Oi!
like you could see a notable
Wow.
difference." So then we go to
Bruh.
the ER, right? I sit there for 2.5 hours waiting for them to like get done with all the corona stuff, right?
Corona's
And
going
then
on.
yeah, this happened like 2 months ago.
Ooh.
So
Really?
You never
Yeah.
tell me about it. Okay.
well, right. So they're like, they take a X-ray of my shoulder to see if it's dislocated, and they say, "Well, your arm's not dislocated, but you can't wrestle or do sports for like the next couple of months." Basically, what happened? The joints in my shoulder that keep it connected turned to silly putty. And my
Oh.
What? Wait.
Melted.
Silly putty.
yes, like silly putty. Like imagine stretching silly putty. That's basically what happened to my joints.
Jesus.
That's like the closest you can get to dislocating.
Mm-mm-mm.
I did not dislocate, but still to this day it hurts. My right arm, the same arm that I broke the weenus on, dude. It's weaker and it still hurts whenever I use this arm for like weightlifting and stuff because
Yikes.
That's great.
it's still not fixed.
Which arm was it? Your right or left?
My right arm.
Dang.
Dude.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
All right,
All
we
right.
on to Vince?
Yeah, we
I
gotta
have
hurry up. Yep.
two stories. One's very quick.
What-
I was moving to the house I live in now, and we put all of our stuff in a storage container while we were moving, and we were opening the door to get into the room where all the storage containers were, and the door opened, and there was like just enough space where a bit of my toe could fit underneath the door.
Oh.
And my dad opened the door, and the front half of my toenail flipped up.
Oh yeah,
And, okay,
that's happened to
but
me.
here's the best part, right? My dad
Or
wasn't
the
like,
worst.
"Oh, we'll just wait you. We won't just wait you there." He picked up my foot and pushed the toenail back down.
Oh.
Bruh.
Your dad deserves to
Owie.
be executed.
No, it was all good intentions. It took me like an hour, and I was fine. I could walk.
It was
But then,
all good
Then
intentions.
the other one is when I broke my wrist at band practice.
Yes,
I was there
remember
for
Oh,
this. I
great.
remember this.
So I'm sure everybody in this call, except for Jacob, was here for that probably. You probably just didn't know who I
remember
was.
Chaps.
I remember.
So
that.
our friend Rigby, who isn't in the call right now, I was like, he was gonna go run up the stairs to the drinking fountain, and I was sprinting up to get to him, and on like the fourth stair, I slipped, and I turned my body just so my wrist smacked itself up against the up against the stair, and then my entire body weight, which at that time I was probably around almost 200 pounds, and it just slammed into the stair and broke my wrist. And so at that point, I'm like, that does not feel good. And so I just start crying. I was like immobilized, and I just like, I'm like, I go to the bedroom. I'm like, yeah, my wrist is definitely broken.
She's like,
And she's
"What?"
like, okay, I'll call your dad. And I called my dad. He's like, yep, I'll be there. Pick me up. Take me to the ER. They're like, oh yeah, it's definitely
Oh yeah,
fractured.
it's gone. You don't have a wrist anymore,
It was
dude.
only a hairline fracture. It was like not that bad of a fracture. It just
But
really
that's-
hurt.
That's weird because like if you bend your hand forward, so it's just
Mhm.
like a stump, your wrist,
Mhm.
it only takes 7 pounds of pressure to like fully shatter it.
Bruh.
Yeah.
My dad broke his elbow at my third birthday party.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Dude,
shit.
you
Oh,
know
Alright,
what?
yeah.
Those are my stories. There's
Vince,
Evans.
Vince, when
Alright.
this happened, what grade was this when this happened?
Sixth?
That was sixth grade.
Sixth grade.
So
grade.
when you were in band practice, your actual school is elementary school, but you went to
For
High
practice.
school.
oh
High school
Guam.
for practice. Yeah,
Guam.
no, we'll cut that out. Just say high
Maybe-
school.
There's
Not
gotta be
not
so many.
no
Yeah.
okay
No, no.
I think you're actually high school. I don't think
Guam.
No, in Guam, in Guam.
Guam.
If you look up, we come up right away.
okay.
Well, that's
I
just,
will-
area. That's area code. You can search up any like
We're fine.
unknown business in Guam, and you can and it'll just like pick it up, even though there's a million of them named that because of
Yeah.
area code.
Okay.
Now it's Evan's turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit of context. Your boy, I've got kind of like pussy stories, but you know, like the worst I've ever done is sprain anything. But
That's fine.
so the first one, I was like 7, and we were meeting with a couple families of my cousins in the winter at this cabin. I don't know where it was, and we, at the time, we were surrounded by all these like hills and shit, and it was like the first time I'd really been around hills like that I could remember. So I was like, oh, we should totally climb one of those. And you know, the parents were like, oh, that's cool. Go ahead, you idiots. So I became like the Joseph Seed from Far Cry of my cousins and set up like a whole boot camp thing,
Jojo
which
Siwa.
consists, yeah, basically. No. So we started jumping. It was a quote unquote training like boot camp thing designed by me, which consisted of jumping off the cabin roof into the snow.
Bruh.
And
Okay.
Kid
we got
died.
progressively higher on the roof until I was at the very peak, and they were like, "Ooh, jump, you idiot!" And so I did it, and I hit really
Do a
hard.
flip.
Do a flip.
I hit really hard, and it hurt like a little bit, but I didn't want
Jesus.
to act like anything was wrong, so I just kind of
Dude,
like
I'm
walked it
fine.
off.
So you just snapped
Yeah.
it back into place. Like
So then we kept going, and we went on
Bruh.
this hike into the woods towards the hill without letting anyone know. Nobody knew where we were going, and it was me, my brother, and 4 of my cousins. And we're on our way in the woods, and we reach a river. And 2 of my cousins right there are like, "Okay, we're going back. You guys have fun." And the 2 other cousins and my brother just keep following me.
Oh,
And keep in mind, this is like February, and
Mhm.
it was like a warm February, so the river was starting to melt,
Mhm.
and so it was like half frozen, and we were all decked out in like winter gear.
oh god.
And your boy decided to keep going naturally. So
of course.
exactly. So we started going over this river, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt the ice like crack under me a few times, but I just kept
Fuck.
soldiering through. And I didn't even notice that there were cars stopping along the road on the other end of the river.
Stop,
And
stop.
so we crossed the fucking river,
I'm gonna.
and this Karen runs out of her car, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing? You could
Bruh.
have died." And
you censored
makes
yourself. Discord
everybody
censored
started
you.
crying but me. And so she shoves us into her car. And was like, "Okay,
Hey,
where are
she's
you from?"
kidnapping you.
Bro, yeah, you get mugged.
Basically. And so, based off my rudimentary, like 7-year-old traumatized directions, she manages to take us back to the cabin. And oh my god, that was one of the most angriest I've ever seen my parents at me, because
Well,
they
what-
were like, "What the fuck were you thinking? You just took your young cousins into the woods on some kind of adventure. You should have known better."
I thought
And
you
by
were gonna
this
talk
time-
about when your
and then by-
when your brother fell off a waterfall.
Wait, so
Oh,
I'm
that's
sorry.
another thing.
Before we do that, you were crossing a creek?
A
Was
frozen
it?
Well,
river.
An actual river. It was an actual
river.
river.
Okay.
What? How
So,
big
like,
was it? How big
hold
was
on.
it?
It was like, if I'm gonna give a vague distance, maybe from, let's say we're talking,
Mississippi?
So like the
no,
Guam
no,
River?
not Mississippi
The
level.
Guam
Like,
River.
I'd say, oh shit.
Yeah.
that's-
Jesus.
Whatever.
Are you
Guam
Never
kidding?
mind.
That's pretty
Yeah.
wide.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I have to piss
The
just-
Karen actually
Go
had
pee,
like
Jacob.
the Karen had a legitimate reason to be worried about you there.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
It's like if the
Nah.
ice breaks, yeah, no, if the
I'm
ice
joking.
breaks
I
and
don't
you
know what you're
fall
talking
in,
You're
that
dead.
water underneath is still flowing, so it'll
And we
suck
can't,
you in.
yeah.
It'll
And
suck
then
you
the
in,
ice
and then you
on the
can't get
top.
up to the surface because there's ice on it.
Plus, we're weighed down with
That
all our
sounds
winter
funny.
shit, so we
That
can't
sounds
even
Exactly.
How
like swim
scary
to
it
the
would be to
surface.
drown?
Dude, drowning
Yeah.
is
And
freaking-
freeze to death, drown and
Okay,
freeze
let's
to
not-
death
let's
at the
not do
same
those-
time.
No, thank you.
That's what
Drowning is
happens. That's what happens.
creepy.
That's what happens
Your
basically
body
if you get sucked into
Can't
space.
move because it's so cold, and then your lungs just collapse because you can't breathe, dude.
To like
Yeah.
a lapse, I've spent these raps as long as
All
you're
right.
feeling them.
So basically, the funniest part of this was this was on the first day, and we were there for like a week. And so for the next 3 days, my leg was sprained, so I couldn't go outside. So I was stuck on my
Aw.
bed, and my room had a window, and I just had to watch all my
That's
cousins
torture.
just
I
go
would've just-
sledding.
I would've
It
just
was
sleeped.
awful.
We just slept, bro.
I played anyway, dude.
Dude, yes.
But yeah, and then the other one, I was
Bruh.
stupid and like jumped on a branch and sprained my ankle and dragged myself through a whole day of like climbing rock walls. This was at the City Museum, Jack. It was that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Jack,
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it was
You
that.
little child. Oh well.
Dragged myself through the whole day. Look up the St. Louis City Museum sometime. I went
Hey,
like hours doing that
Yeah.
Hey, Jack.
with a sprained ankle.
hey, Jack.
Yeah.
How far are we in?
Oh, I don't know,
2
bro.
hours at this
I'm
point.
keeping
I
it
can-
rolling.
I can end it. I can end it.
I
So,
I'm
so
down
is
to
there
keep
the
going.
end.
Is there
I'm
anything
down
else
to
to
keep
talk
going.
about?
I mean,
You know,
of course
what we-
there is. We can keep recording like daily.
Yeah,
I
The
mean,
title
okay,
should be-
let's end this one here. Let's
All
end
right.
All
this
right,
Wait,
I got
hang
this.
on,
I
hang
got
on,
It
this.
should be some
Alright,
fellas
alright.
talk about injuries.
We have infinite podcast technically, so we have plenty to talk about.
By the way,
The chimps
Well,
get
we
hurt.
could we could just
thank
keep
you guys.
recording and
Yeah.
then like
Yeah.
cut it and then
I need
keep
to
like
end it. I need to end it. So,
All right,
well,
wait,
thank you
no,
guys for
no.
watching. If
Can
you
I
guys
end it? Can I
follow-
end it, bro?
We appreciate it. No, you can't.
Rest in peace.
Can you restart
Oh,
the
that sucks,
ending,
dude.
please? Because you cut out and I was talking.
That's it, fellas. That's been
Well,
it.
bruh.
Dude,
thank you guys for. Thank you guys.
Stop! I'm gonna kill you.
Travis and Sam, you have anything? You have anything you want to plug? You want to plug anything, or are
You're
you
so
good?
cool.
I'm not
Yeah,
plugging
g-
anything.
Your
I'm not doing
address.
that. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I live on Elmore. 50.
Elmore Street in
Oh, that's good. That's where
Gumball.
Gumball
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah, in Gumball, dude.
Gumball.
I live on 1539 North
Danville,
Talbot.
dude.
Actually,
I live
Boys,
in Danville.
boys,
In,
Everyone just
in,
start screaming. Everyone just start screaming.
we got nothing to plug.
Ah!
Oh!